Peter, what would be your biggest inspiration?
I entered the field of entrepreneurship, or I always wanted to build a business. When I moved from Goa to Mumbai, actually in 2023, 2003, that time my biggest inspiration was a gentleman called Dhirubhai Ambani, who was actually the late father of Mr. Mukesh Ambani.
Yeah.
Of course, he has the stories from rags to riches, where basically an average middle class or lower middle class individual basically who has built in a conglomerate across Asia and have built multiple businesses in every industry. Could it be the telecom? Could it be the petrochemical? Could it be the textile? I mean, how he built this from a dream to reality. And today, his entire generation basically is enjoying these benefits. It's not because he had all the resources. No, he had the idea. He did not bother about his current situation. What he believed was what he wants to do. 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead. So when you build a business, it's like giving birth to a kid.
Agreed. Yeah.
And so you have to plan a 3 years, a 5 years, and a 10 years vision. Without having a vision, you don't know where to go. And only once you figure out this vision of where you are and where you want to go, how much money you can deploy in this vision, that's when you will able to calculate the pathway.
Agreed.
And that's where my complete inspiration was, from Dhirubhai Ambani, and I was really living that. And that's where I read all books around him that actually inspired me, and yet he will remain a great inspiration in my life, because the way he built India's story is a great inspiration for every budding entrepreneur in that region or across the globe.
Seamlessly, who hasn't heard about him? I mean, Dubai has been home to many of such entrepreneurs, such as Rizwan Sajjan,
Of course.
and he's very big right now. For me,
I mean, you can see Rizwan Sajjan on most of his channels, or maybe on his Instagram handles. He tells about his story.
Yes.
And how he basically started his life in Mumbai, and today, he's one of the billionaire.
Yes.
And you could see what he's delivering in Dubai on a daily basis. And people have trusted his brand, people have trusted his idea, people have trusted his products.
Agreed.
And he, not because who he is, it's because he was able to fulfill every promise that he gave.
Agreed. But people actually, the way you say to me, Azan, that people want a vision, an idea, that only selling alone won't cut it, Azan. You have to be larger than life when you're talking to an individual. So apart from that, being a CEO alone is not a job. It's about leadership. How do you define leadership in your own terms, the way you do it to us?
See, leadership is more about clarity, first of all.
Right.
Again, when we close our eyes, if everyone in the organization is able to point in one direction, it means that's leadership. You are able to lead the vision of the company.
Right.
So you know what's your idea. People have appointed you because you are the best among all of them. And that's when the leadership qualities actually come into play. You will have to lead with examples. And you will handhold every employee that basically struggles in the process. You cannot say that, boss, do it, it'll happen. No. How to do it also sometimes you need to teach them. And that's where the journey happens. You will have to handhold them till you actually leave their hands independently. And that's where the leadership was different. I always believed in this leadership of handholding, nurturing my teammates, and then leaving them independent only once I know that they can walk alone.
Just firing them wasn't never the solution.
No,
You've always
never.
said, give them guidance.
Yeah.
Lead them towards a path, but don't just leave them off.
Yeah.
Don't
But
be
one more
blind.
thing, most important, entrepreneurs have to keep training their minds.
Agreed.
Because the ecosystem around the world is so dynamic that it's changing every minute, every hour, and every day. So you will need to keep educating yourself. You will need to understand the current ecosystems that are changing. You need to understand the laws that are evolving. And you will have to, that's how only you could basically lead as a leader.